So we're going to use a 12mm knitting needle and 3mm crochet hook and 3 PLI yarn. If you don't have the same size broomstick, you can use another size. It just means that your rose will be a different size. Maybe look either a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. So you're going to start by chaining 60. So start by making a slip knot and chain 60. And through each chain you made, you're going to loop through then over the broomstick, as I'm going to show you soon. So I'm fast forwarding this bit because you can pause this video until you have chained 60 and start it again. Oh, I'm drinking coffee now. Crochet and coffee go well together. So you got the chain. So now we're going to start looping it onto the knitting needle, or as I like to call it, the broomstick needle. And it's actually easier doing this if you have the broomstick needle in your lap, holding it really close to you. So it's a bit fiddly doing it the way I'm doing it now on the table, because I have to kind of extend my arms. It's much easier to do once you have it in your lap. You can do it much quicker than what I'm doing it now, because then it's stable. But you're just pulling through loops, and that's how you broomstick. So it's a bit of a patience game as well. But when I crochet, I mean, I don't knit, but when I crochet, I usually sit in front of the TV, or even if I'm a passenger in the car, even when I'm in a cafe, it's things you can do when you do other things. So if what you're doing don't need your concentration, like watching TV, then why not crochet? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold this in half. So this is a bit different from regular broomstick, where you broomstick the loops and you don't fold it in half first, but I'm going to fold it in half first, and I'm going to pick up one loop per side. So I picked up one loop per side, and I do that 3 times, so it's 6 loops on the crochet hook. So I'm going to do a slip stitch, and I'm going to do 7 single crochet in that loop, but then it changes it a little bit in the next 6 loops. But for the first one, you're just going to do a slip stitch and 7 single crochet. I'm just fast forwarding now a little bit. What you're going to do now, you're going to do 3 single crochet, 3 chain picot, and 3 single crochet in the next one. And you're going to do that all the way until there's no more left to do. And if you make a mistake here, like if you do a 2 single crochet, then a 3 chain picot, and then 3 single crochet, if you do that, it doesn't really matter, because it won't show. But for, to make this simple, the pattern is 3 single crochet, 3 chain picot, and 3 single crochet. To try and just keep it as simple as possible doing this, and not mix it up so much, because the look will be more or less the same anyway. The whole point is that you want the picot sort of at the top, so it looks like it just decorates the petals. So this is what you actually are making now, are rose petals. You're making them all in one go, and once you're done, you're going to fold them up. But if you make a mistake and you forget 1 single crochet here and there, or if you've got some loops, too many loops on the hook here and there, it won't make too much of a difference. In some cases, it could even maybe work for you to make the leaves look a little bit different, which could be a good thing. Sometimes with crochet, the mistakes that are made end up being to your advantage. So as you can see here, now it's all about folding it up and stitching it in place. So you're kind of rolling it up more than anything, like a rose. So you roll it up. So try and make it really tight. We're going to make a larger crochet petal and fold around this as well. But we're going to first make the stem, because it's really hard to attach the larger petals if this isn't already on a stem. I'm going to have some coffee now. Yeah, so stitch in place and try and secure it as much as you can when you stitch it. So just stitch it sort of, you'll see where it needs to be stitched. It's just to hold it in place, but you're also gonna stitch it onto the stem, so that will secure it as well. You just don't want it to fall apart on you before you get it secured on the stem, or it falling apart on you while it's on the stem. But it will be more secured on the stem, and also you're gonna have the larger petals on top. Now if you just wanted to make a small rose, then those rose petals could be plenty. That could be big enough. You could even maybe make a longer chain and make that one longer as well, and therefore bigger. Now we're going to make the stem, so you can either use a barbecue stick or a sushi stick. As a trick, I use a little bit of wire because it helps with holding the yarn in place. So this is, I think this is sushi stick here I got here. And then when you're going to roll the yarn on, you can just then wrap the wire around the end, so then it holds it in place. It's really easy then. You can yarn over that, and then you can yarn it all the way to the end. And then I'm just securing here with the, and then I'm hiding it by rolling on top of it. And then I do a few more securing in place with the sewing needle, just in case you can't secure enough when you do crochet. So that needle got stuck, and what I used was a plier that I use when I do wire work, and I pulled it out with the plier. And if your work is really tight and it is hard to, you know, sew in and out to secure it, use those pliers, because you can just hold it with a plier and pull it out. It's much easier. So I'm gonna start making the leaves now. And the leaves are made using broomstick as well, but it's gonna be much quicker because you're only gonna chain 3, and you're gonna make 4 all up. So that looks really pretty. So I'm gonna use same crochet hook and broomstick and green yarn. So chain 3. And then you just loop that on the broomstick. Now this, well, what I want to do now is actually I'm going to crochet around the loops. And the reason I like broomstick, using a broomstick, it's not going to look like, at the finished result, you won't see it is a broomstick technique used. But the reason I like it is because you're crocheting over the loops. So you're going to crochet 12 to 14 single crochet evenly over the loops. If you can't fit all those, as long as it is single crochet evenly crocheted around, it doesn't really matter if you end up being 11 or 14 or 12. Or the principle is that you want evenly single crochet around the loop. You're going to secure first with a slip stitch, and then you crochet evenly around the loops. So you crochet around all the loops, and that's why I like using broomsticks sometimes, because it makes it really chunky, which gives it a better look. It gives it more three-dimensional look, which is better. And then once you're finished, you're gonna sew the opening in the middle, you're gonna sew it closed so that and then you stitch it onto the stem. So very quick and easy way of making something very pretty. And you can see it looks really pretty there. Then you got your first leaf on. You're going to make 3 more leaves exactly the same way and stitch them on. And now you're going to crochet large rose petals, and you're going to use a ruler this time instead of the broomstick needle. So chain 30. We basically need larger petals, so we need larger loops, so that's why we're going to use the ruler. The ruler is a bit bigger. The loops you're going to make are bigger. And then you just hook that one on. And you do exactly what you did before. You loop over. The only difference is that now you're using a ruler instead. This is clearly my arts and craft ruler. It's lots of paint on it from my painting days. And I'm lucky I found it. First I thought I couldn't find my ruler. But then it was laying there, and that solved my problem, because I thought I wouldn't find anything to make my large rose petals. So you're going to fold it in half as well, and start at the top this time and do 2 each side, so it's 4, and that's only for the beginning. You're going to do that. And you're going to do slip stitch, 3 chain picot, and then you're going to do 5 single crochet. So the picot in crochet is used a lot in lace making, and it's used a lot in Irish crochet. It's very decorative. So when you're making flower, what you want it to be decorative, you want it to be lacy. So picots are used just to make it look pretty, basically. That is the only reason it is used. So now you're going to hook up 1 each side, and not 2 each side, just 1, and you're going to continue this way all the way from now on. So you're going to do a single crochet and a 3 chain picot, and then you're going to crochet 5 single crochet in the 2 loops. And you're going to follow this technique all the way down until all the loops are worked this way. So these petals are bigger, as you can see, and they're going to lay on top of, or like below, you're going to stitch them below the smaller petals. So it's going to make it really cool, lacy look, and it's going to be a very unique looking rose, very pretty. You can decorate your home with. So in the end it will look like this. So it's kind of very 3-dimensional, that's for sure. And I already made the rose now. I'm just going to show you that basically you just lay it underneath like that and stitch it in place. So I'll take that off because I already finished it, as you can see. It has everything on it, including all the leaves and everything. So it looks very pretty indeed.